Welcome to the Ohio High School Film Room presented by Prep Hoops Ohio. I'm your host, Michael Roth, and with me is Luke Denbow from Ashland High School. Luke, welcome to the film room.
Thanks for having me.
Luke, I'm not sure how many players that I watch throughout the entire state that have a brighter green light to shoot the basketball than you. What sort of confidence does your coach give you just feeding you shoot the ball off the dribble, contested, step backs, doesn't matter. It seems like your coach is comfortable with you shooting a ton of different styles of jump shots.
Yeah, me and my coach have a good relationship. He says he has all the confidence in the world because he's watched me grow up and seen me hit those shots. But I also have some big confidence hitting those, and I just think I can hit those with ease sometimes. But sometimes I don't make them, and it's you can see that uh, it's not that good of a shot, but we can live with it.
Yeah, what's that like? Because there you have a couple air balls in these, and I'm sure
Hmm.
just the style of play that you guys play at Ashland. For those who don't know, very up and down. You have the ball in your hands a lot. What sort of confidence boost is that? All right, you missed that shot badly, but we need you to take that shot next time for your team because that's what's going to be best for your team to win the game.
Yeah. It's I know I can make all those, but sometimes they're not the best. But I know my teammates have my back because they've seen me make those, and they don't really worry about too much that those bad shots are always bad because they've seen me make those. But my coach and the whole coaching staff tells me I have the green light, but sometimes I get a little ahead of myself.
And then what's the biggest difference high school to AAU? How much easier is it in AAU when you're maybe like the third scoring option instead of high school where you're facing a lot of double teams?
AAU, I like to get everyone involved. I'm not really I'm not the main scorer. I like to get everyone involved, but I can also get mine when I want to. But it's also nice not having those double teams and face guarding. So it does create a easy opportunity for me to make those.
Right now, you're averaging 22.2 points per game on the young season. I already mentioned that you have the ball in your hands a lot, but throughout these clips, they're all catch and shoot jumpers. Your team seems to run a variety of different sets for you, whether that's moving you off ball on screens or when the team's in a zone, the team does a good job getting you either on the wing or in the middle, kind of the free throw line area. What are some of your favorite spaces to operate on the court when you don't have the ball in your hands and you're maybe looking to get open for a shot?
Yeah, zone especially. I like these. We have this one play. It's a flare. It's constantly flare screens for the first three guys. I mean, top three guys up top. Uh, I was I'm a big catch and shoot guy. I've always grown up with that with my brothers and stuff. So I like coming off flare screens. Also running the baseline. I'd probably say going from the left side to the right. I'm a big off the ball mover too. That's what my coaches harped on me all year since I've been face guarded and on different defenses and stuff. So always movement without the ball and finding the right spots in the zones and also in man to man to find the right spots where I can catch the ball and shoot.
Yeah, and we looked at a bunch of difficult shot attempts. I do think you're a better shooter than maybe what your percentages say, just because of the volume of shots that you do take, and you do make a decent amount of the catch and shoot looks, and that's going to be the more sort of quality of shots that you're going to be getting maybe in higher level AAU and at the college level. So that's important that you're making those shots that are going to translate to the next level. You're a smaller guard, and it seems like when you drive to the basket, a lot of contact. You have to finish over taller, more athletic, longer defenders. You're a lefty. You seem to love going left and just getting into the teeth of the defense to score the basketball. Just growing up throughout AAU, how have you learned to finish over those sort of rim protectors? Because you are usually you are one of the smallest guys on the court most of the time.
Yeah. I do like the right to left cross going to my left hand. It's one of my favorite moves. Actually, my brothers, they're pretty tall, so I've learned to finish over tall people. But it's one of my it was one of my big things this past off season was finishing, and I think I've gotten better, but there's some more things to improve on. But it's it is pretty difficult being the smallest guy on the floor, but I've learned to get over those tall defenders and drop the ball in.
And how do you think you're able to consistently beat defenders going from your right hand to the left hand crossover? Like I know you said that's one of your favorite moves, but you would assume that teams would play you, force you to go right. How do you think you've been able to still beat players getting to your preferred left hand? Just is that your quickness and just not settling to be forced to your non-dominant hand?
Well, actually, it's crazy, but I'm a better right-handed dribbler. I don't know how, but when I was little, I've always dribbled in my right hand more than my left. So I do like the in and out uh, going in my right hand, but yeah, I think my quickness, it's a mixture of my quickness and that better right-handed dribbling that gets me past the defenders.
So you mentioned that you're a better dribbler with your right hand than your left hand. You throw one-handed passes with your right hand. Um, what makes you so hesitant to finish layups with your right hand? Because I think we have like 7 or 8 layups on the right side, and only one of them you did shoot with your right hand. And maybe in 1 or 2 of these, going up with the left hand was the right option. But this is
Mhm.
certainly a habit of yours. You don't like going up with your right hand. So, how do you just develop that? And what sort of challenges does that bring you when finishing at the rim, especially on that right side?
Yeah, especially pressured layups, and when there's contact involved, I like going with my left, just because I know what I can do with my left with different finishes. But yeah, it's something I need to improve on with my right, especially with contact finishes. It's not one of my best things in my arsenal, but I do need to improve that. So that's one of the things I'm looking on next year.
On the scouting report, when preparing for Ashland, the first thing on the list is stop Luke Denbow from scoring, make their teammates beat you. And when you drive to the basket, it seems like defenders collapse on you. You have maybe 10 eyes looking at you when you're driving to the paint, 10 eyes on defense. You average over 7 assists a game. How key is it for you to trust your less talented teammates and give them looks because they will capitalize because you have 7 assists a game, so they're making those shots that you create for them.
Hmm. Um, I know that teams are collapsing on me every single time I drive, and I really like giving the ball out, dishing it out, giving it to my other teammates, and we have some really good shooters and Eli White and Grayson Sturry that are knocking down the other guards on my team, but and also the big men are catching it and putting it up too, so which makes it easy when they help over and I trust my teammates in making those shots and they trust me to give it to them.
I'm not sure if there's anybody in the entire state who runs as much as you do throughout a basketball game, except for maybe somebody who plays at Trotwood Madison.
Yeah.
So, just what sort of stamina levels do you have to obtain for you to play? You play like 30 minutes a game and you're consistently pushing the ball. So, just how are you able to be in shape to do that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gassed out there sometimes, but uh, throughout the off season, my coach definitely we run a lot. I mean, we run a lot at practice, and we want to play a fast tempo game, and I thrive in fast tempo and also creating havoc on the defensive end, getting out and running. But I enjoy going up and down, and it really feeds off. I mean, it really feeds into my style of play.
Yeah, and obviously you're pushing the ball. We see with your right hand, like you mentioned earlier. But just has that always been your preferred style of play, whether it's through like grade school, middle school? early travel ball? Have you always been on teams that look to push the tempo and maybe score the most points in the league, even if you are giving up a decent amount more than some of the other teams that you're maybe seeing?
I mean, yeah, I'd say I grew up like that. I also, just looking up the floor, getting we our fast tempo quick hits. That's what we call them, quick hits. Out of free throws, out of opponents' makes, try and get it up the sideline quick, and also outscore people.
I mentioned that you have the ball kind of more often than most point guards that I watch. Um, in these clips, you do lose the ball a couple times. I don't want to harp on them too much because turnovers are going to happen whenever you have the ball as much as you do. But is there anything that you're noticing just about these three plays where you kind of get stripped? It seems like all of them you are using your right hand to dribble, and then maybe you go to your left before getting stripped in one of them. But is there any takeaways that you have from these just short set of clips?
Yeah, I could definitely protect the ball more. I'm sometimes loose with it with my handle, and it gets away from me. But it's you'll live with it when I always have the ball in my hands, like you said. But I gotta tune in on that a little more and make sure the ball doesn't get away from me like it does in these clips.
Yeah, I kind of compared your turnovers to like James Harden with the Rockets because James Harden, most years, he's like top five in the league in turnovers. But James Harden has the ball more than like anybody else. And the
Mhm.
Rockets are usually near the bottom of the league in turnovers. And what people maybe don't realize is that's because of James Harden, because he makes so many good decisions. So maybe you have a decent amount of turnovers, and that's not good. But because you have the ball so much, your team doesn't have a ton of turnovers. Um, so yeah, that's just one thing that I noticed while watching you. Just because of how much the ball's in your hands, how much you're relied on create, turnovers are going to happen. But I think overall, your team turns the ball over less than most teams that I watch, and I think a majority of that credit goes to you because of that. You average 3.3 steals a game. As a small guard, that's kind of a prerequisite to play college basketball. You need to have active hands and compete at your size. What are some keys for you on the defensive end, knowing that maybe you're going to be defending kids that are bigger than you, taller than you, etc.?
I take pride on my defense. I always want to guard the opponent's best player, and and as a smaller guard, you always got to have those quick hands when they're putting the ball out in front of you, and being able to get those steals. It's one thing I take pride in is getting steals and running out in transition.
In these clips, you're off ball to start with all of these, and we see a couple plays where you gamble, you get a steal, or you take a charge. How much freedom do you have to just use your natural instincts and try and make a play defensively to start the fast break? Because I'm sure your coaches want to help create fast break opportunities, and there's no better way to create a fast break than with a live ball turnover.
Yeah, I mean, they have trusted me that I'll make the smart move and the right play off ball, but we gotta you gotta make sure it's the right time and the right place to do that. But I take pride in the charges too. That's one thing we at Ashland we take pride in this year, trying to get 2 charges a game. But it's one thing I gotta work on is the off ball defense help side. Sometimes I get a little lax on that part of the defensive end, but it'll come and I'll get better.
Well, Luke, thank you for joining the Ohio High School Film Room with me. Before you let you go, is there any personal goals that you have, maybe throughout this regular season, summer AAU, senior season, anything that you just are looking to accomplish before you graduate high school?
This year we're hopefully getting sectionals and hopefully district in a tough Toledo district, but hopefully we get that and next year the same with the district and the senior year. But personal, trying to we're hoping for 1,000 points soon, and hopefully get the record and a lot of categories and points. I want to get the assists, and I want to get some of the record in steals too. But that's mostly it, and I'm looking to looking to get some offers here soon.